Wake up, sundown, creatures and gods around. Beware, prepare, it's dangerous, they'll linger in the dark. Climb from below, temples and tombs will fall down. Explore the realms, what is meant to be, take it all. Obey, hear the voice of God, and the best come to your sacred land. Make way to the afterlife. What was once your palace, now your grave. Awaken your soul, dive and devour the Red Sea. Take control and drown the enemies across the vast wild desert. Move your feet along to the rhythm of the sand. Rise and sharpen up your spear. Aim your bow, make them bow down in fear. Chaos and new beginnings. Find your destiny in the magic and the omen of the mind.
Hey, to have peace, yes, Lord, there must be strife. I already see the end of life. I accepted death, my eyes are open. I read and told them there's a light. Eternal life awaits me, yes. No one can dare deny me. I'll gladly give my life for my people. Can my kingdom point the way? That's a small price to pay. To God to pray every day. To the promised land, I understand the higher, the highest height, and the lower, the lowest depths. I'm not afraid of my last breath. Life ain't nothing but a test. May the gods only know what's next.
Alarms, hear the voice of God, and the best come to your sacred land. Make way to the afterlife. What was once your palace, now your grave. Awaken your soul, dive and devour the Red Sea. Take control and drown the enemies across the vast wild desert. Move your feet along to the rhythm of the sand. Rise and sharpen up your spear. Aim your bow, make them bow down in fear. Chaos and new beginnings. Find your destiny in the magic and the omen of the mind.
My eyes are open, eternal morning. The crown is golden, I have been chosen. My eyes are open, eternal morning. The crown is golden, I have been chosen.
Awaken your soul, dive and devour the Red Sea. Take control and drown the enemies across the vast wild desert. Move your feet along to the rhythm of the sand. Rise and sharpen up your spear. Aim your bow, make them bow down in fear. Chaos and new beginnings. Find your destiny in the magic and the omen of the mind. Wake up, sundown, creatures and gods around. Beware, prepare, it's dangerous, they'll linger in the dark. Climb from below, temples and tombs will fall down. Explore the realms, what is meant to be, take it all. Obey, hear the voice of God, and the best come to your sacred land. Make way to the afterlife. What was once your palace, now your grave. Awaken your soul, dive and devour the Red Sea. Take control and drown the enemies across the vast wild desert. Move your feet along to the rhythm of the sand. Rise and sharpen up your spear. Aim your bow, make them bow down in fear. Chaos and new beginnings. Find your destiny in the magic and the omen of the mind.
Hey, to have peace, yes, Lord, there must be strife. I already see the end of life. I accepted death, my eyes are open. I read and told them there's a light. Eternal life awaits me, yes. No one can dare deny me. I'll gladly give my life for my people. Can my kingdom point the way? That's a small price to pay. To God to pray every day. To the promised land, I understand the higher, the highest height, and the lower, the lowest depths. I'm not afraid of my last breath. Life ain't nothing but a test. May the gods only know what's next.
Alarms, hear the voice of God, and the best come to your sacred.
Hello, Governors. Welcome to Osiris League Season 7 Finals Game 2. I am your host, Plato Gaming, content creator and caster for Rise of Kingdoms. And in today's game, we will be spectating, is going to be from the realm of Basset, 489 from Kingdom 2489 versus F84D from Kingdom 2884. If you missed last week's game, the finals are different than other matchups, as it is not a best of one, rather a best of three, as both teams will be fighting each other in multiple matches. So meaning whoever is the first to win 2 games rather, will be the season 7 realm of Basset champions. And in this case, 489 are 1 game away from securing the championship, while F84D are playing for their playoff lives in the hopes of winning today's game to even up the series. So it's going to be a very, very interesting game, very high stakes for sure. So I think it will be a really, really good one that we got here. The game last week was rather close. And as I pull up the standings on my end real quick and pull up the schedule, so 489 actually won by about 9k, which is a pretty close game here. So I'm gonna see, we're gonna have to see if F84D will be able to augment their strategy and kind of change up things for this match. One thing to keep in mind is 2489 is actually in the middle of their own Kingsland, or their Kingsland fight has just ended. So the power I'm expecting the power for this for the 2489 side to be rather low here, because they just had a really challenging Kingsland fight, a 2v4 in terms of camps. So we'll have to see if that will play a factor for this upcoming match here. As we look at the standings here, 489 actually played through 1, 2, 3 of their own Kingdoms teams here, on the way to the championship against 89NR, 89VC, and 89CG. And these teams are very, very challenging. 2489 being a very, very strong kingdom, obviously having 4 of their own Osiris League teams. 89VC coming from the 1556 camp, so that's Fa, Baba. 89CG, the reigning champions of Sobek last season. So 489 is definitely a very, very strong team, but so is F84D on their end, beating NE01. They've been very dominant on their route to the finals here, although everyone knows about the semifinals match, where SW was in the middle of their own KVK, so they opted into that. But they are a strong team in their own right, and they do have a significant power advantage on their end, with 3.3 billion power to the 2.6 for 489 here. So we'll have to see if that will play a factor. We'll have to see if some of their players are really low in power and maybe can't field full T4, and if that will be the difference for this match here. I expect to see 489 come out of the gates and, play really standard. I was told that a lot of their player base is actually from 1021, which is Blackjack and Blackpink, previous finalists last season of the realm of Horus. They would challenge 1v in that scenario. So yeah, they're definitely experienced, 489, and they're repping their whole kingdom. I see their name here, 89 hashtag N, 89CG, 89VC, and R. So just making sure all of the different teams from the kingdom are represented and showing that they are unified in this Osiris League run. So it should be a very, very interesting match. I'm going to be really curious to see how F84D will use their power advantage and maybe change the results of the last match and force a game 3 of round 3 of this Osiris League here. So let us get into the game real quick, as the game is just about to start. Just a reminder, we are streaming in a 12-minute delay for competitive integrity. So all the chat messages will be delayed, and you will be watching in a 12-minute delay. But yeah, this season so far has been super interesting. The fog has been a really interesting touch, and I think that's why there's so much parity in this season, because if you see the favorites of all of the realms except for 60 GT have been knocked out. So 1V knocked out, CG89 knocked out, and I guess the realm of Sobek is still in the finals, but they are down 1 game in the finals there. So game is gonna start in 1 minute 45 seconds. Let us go see the cities and the powers that they are having here, as yeah, they are, honestly, for being in a really big Kingsland fight like they are, 79 is like rather low, but yeah, they're at a pretty decent spot. We have 90 mil. 90 mil is pretty much what I see as the standard in Osiris League, so you could at least run a solid amount of marches throughout the match. As we go into F84D, I'm going to expect a lot higher powers here, as they are, I believe, in off season. I think I saw in the comments of the last match that some of these people are from 2K, RD2K, so they used to be a pretty strong Osiris League team as well. So let us get ready for this match here. The biggest thing we're going to be looking for are going to be the sentry placements. I'm going to be also looking at the obelisks as well to see if there's any early pressure on the obelisks. And the desert altars, as always, are going to be a high point of contention as the match starts. This is usually where the first murder balls happen, and usually if you hold your desert altar and you're able to secure the desert altar as fast as possible, it allows you to get tempo in other places of the map, allows you to rotate mid faster, it allows you to attack the opponent's sky altar or shrine of war faster. So it's all about that control, as the match is going to start in 5 seconds here. I expect to see some speedy marches coming out from both teams here. Let's see the double C's, as 489 using the sentry here. Yeah, this is a very common sentry spot. It allows you to see how many opponent marches are going to the desert altar, and just giving you that vision for yourself and your team here, as we see a very fast double C, and it's not going towards the outpost or the obelisk. Pretty interesting. And the sentry for 84, I'm gonna call 84 and 89. So the sentry for 84 also mirroring the 89 sentry, just having as much vision as possible for these altars and making sure that you kind of allocate the right amount of resources, the right amount of troops towards each structure, so you don't send too many people there or you don't send too little. Like, it has to be just right. As we see 89 actually having all 4 obelisks rallied, and as well as 84. So both of these teams actually playing very similarly for their opening here, as they have 4 obelisk rallies as well as their sentry placements here. Let's see how close 89 is to their own desert altar here. It actually looks like 84 will have the first couple of marches up towards the desert altar. We'll have to see if that will come into play. And then 84 actually, it looks like both teams are going to be going to their opponent's desert altars rather quickly here. Let's check these obelisk rallies here. we have speedy rallies going to each other's obelisk. I'm gonna be curious to see if the rallies to the opponent's altars or opponent's obelisks are actually cavalry rallies, or if they're infantry or archers. Usually if it's cavalry, that means that they're trying to contest the obelisk, because cavalry are the fastest units in the game, and usually you want to transport the slowest ones in a rally, such as infantry. As we see, 84 actually having a solid position down here, directly south of the desert altar of 89, and 89 actually playing towards this middle section. Maybe they were expecting some sort of push towards the Shrine of Life, which it does look like there are some troops up here, or maybe a push towards the obelisk. Oh, there is a push towards the obelisk. So 89 reading this push, this obelisk push, and moving their murder ball around, their desert altar murder ball around the obelisk here. As we see, I believe this is a full 10 marches going towards this obelisk, but it does look like they have the people to respond to this. It looks like they were aware of this happening, as a similar thing is actually happening to the 84 obelisk down south. So both murder balls being very respectful of each other, not engaging early here. Let's go see the 84. Oh wow, dust up used by 89. Very interesting. Early skill points that will give them the advantage now, but they will be losing points for the upcoming mid fight. It looks like both obelisks here are actually being contested, but yeah, 89 having a lot of units around this obelisk. They read this play and they knew this play was coming, studying the opponents, seeing what they do to be successful, as actually 84 is fighting around this desert altar with its opening in 25 seconds. This is actually a pretty big play here. Because 89 sent so many troops next to the obelisk to defend the obelisk against 84, 84 actually looks like they have kind of an advantage in this desert altar fight, although it does look like 89 is starting to clear the 84 opponents here, as 89 also got first tap on their own obelisk, I mean on their own desert altar rather, with a garrison, so they're looking pretty solid. A good attempt by 84, but 89 doing really well to make sure that their garrison captain got into that desert altar as soon as possible, as they also have captured the sky altar. They don't have a garrison, but this will deny first occupation from 84 for at least an extra 30 seconds. So all the altars look like they have gone to their owners here. I did see that 84 owned the sky altar for a little bit here, but 89 was able to capture that pretty fast. 84 pushing towards the Shrine of War pretty heavy here, and they also still have units around this desert altar. Wait, this desert altar is getting rather low here. Do they have enough units to fill this desert altar? I don't think so. I think it's gonna go down here. Wow, okay, 84 denying 89's first occupation on this desert altar. As I said, it's really important to keep your own altars early, because now 89's in a little bit of predicament here. Do they send more troops towards this desert altar? They don't have a garrison though, that's the thing. 84 does not have a garrison towards this desert altar, so I don't think it'll be too consequential. But 84 can continue to pressure this desert altar if needed, and then 89 will have to pick and choose. Should we get the first occupation points? Because first occupation for altars is huge. 750 points. So it does look like 89 will hold this altar. Oh, there are some reinforcements coming from 84 though. Oh, there are also reinforcements from 89, so. But yeah, look at that. And yet another cap from 84. Although it does look like they lost their own sky altar here, so. So what I'm guessing here, 89 sent over some of their defensive pressure from the desert altar towards the sky altar, which I kind of like actually. The same thing I was talking about, pressuring the desert altar, making. Oh, they have a rally on the obelisk. The same thing I said about pressuring the desert altar. The sky altar is even more pressure because it still gives the same amount of first occupation points, but it's so far away from mid. So all of these troops that both 89 and 84 are committing will probably be irrelevant for this upcoming mid fight, as we see 84 actually having a really fast first rotation here, but 89 actually responding with a lot of troops coming from spawn here. '89 actually capturing the Shrine of Life to deny the 5% movement speed and health is actually pretty big here. As we see 84 taking this offensive positioning to the north of the Temple of Osiris. I actually like what these people are doing here. If they murder ball in front of this temple, this is kind of where you want to be. Let me see. Were they able to capture first occupation here? It looks like they will. They have a Zeno YSS garrison in here, and it is going to take over in 5 seconds. So this is a huge win for 89 here, as they are winning now by about 1.8k points. You could see on the map being heavily dominated by the blue side here. Points per minute, 670 to 210. So I think 84 is actually all inning for this mid fight. They lost the desert altar, they lost the sky altar, so they're down 0 to 4 in terms of altars. So they have to do something magical here in this mid fight, or else all of this altar pressure is just going to be too much. Dust up used by 84. You have to remember 89 did use dust up in the opening here, so that means less points for them in this mid fight. One minute 50 seconds until Arc spawns here. All 4 altars being captured is absolutely huge. And the thing is, even if F84D do win this arc, they're down so much right now in terms of points per minute, in terms of structures. Look at the lead that 89 is building just from sitting around here. Honestly, 489 doesn't need to win this arc fight. They just need to stall as much as possible and keep 84 honest. Total vision used by 89, I believe. Used by both teams here. 84 using it in response. This is do or die for 84 here. They're down so much. They need this arc. They need this arc control. Let's look at the dots here to kind of get a better picture of how this mid fight is going. It does look like 89 having a bit more sad faces than 84. But I do like 89's positioning in this murder ball. Actually, wait, 84's positioning is looking pretty good now too. Usually, if you see whoever's on the outside here, usually means that they're winning this mid fight, because if you're stuck in the middle of the murder ball, as we continue to see the stream of 89 marches just getting sad-faced, 84 actually using that point advantage, using this positioning to win this mid fight. 84 actually making this a game here. There is an arc carrier to the west here though, to the left. Wow, 89 getting first pull. Wait, will this amount to anything? It is a double C. It is getting pretty far. Does 89 concede this arc, or do they continue to fight for this? If this was a closer arc fight, that pull was actually huge. But because 84 was able to wipe 89, it wasn't too consequential. But yeah, 84 definitely needs to look out for those arc carriers next to the Temple of Osiris next time, as 84 is looking to recover their structures here, starting with the Desert Altar. They have been pressuring the Sky Altar, but 89 just keeping a lot of units here in this off lane. And it looks like they are going for 89 Sky Altar as well. This is actually looking pretty doable here. They have a rally, a Nevsky Justinian rally. So this is doable. If they keep this rally full and they continue to swarm. The only thing is, if you see these marches, they're starting to do the circle of death here. And the circle of death doesn't mean death for your opponents, it means death for you. Because I believe there's only 12 slots or 10 slots where you can swarm down a structure. So all the other units that are just circling around aren't actually doing anything. They're not doing damage to the structure. They're not doing damage to the opponent marches, the swarming marches. So if you see your troops doing a circle here in the future for Osiris, you want to make sure that you just continue to hit the opponents hitting your swarmers to at least do some form of DPS. But it looks like 84 was able to capture the Desert Altar. How about their own Desert Altar here? Their own Desert Altar looks like they will be able to recapture that as well. So they're at least able to put pressure on the bleeding a little bit for their points that they're losing. But the points per minute, my goodness, the structure game being so strong for 89. Look at the lead they just made from the structure game, just holding the structures during the arc fight. That is absolutely insane. 84 playing very, very safe with their own arc carrier, as they were able to capture both Desert Altars. So it does look like 84 is mounting a little bit of a comeback here, taking control and evening up the altar score at least is a pretty good first step. The only thing is they have to make sure that these altars start generating points for them, or else it's going to be very, very tough to come back. This Desert Altar I feel is going to be pretty tough to hold. But 89 just putting in work around the Sky Altar, my goodness. It's like they have a constant stream of reinforcements coming over to the Sky Altar at all times. But it does look like there is a lot of 84 troops starting to surround the Sky Altar. We'll have to see if the garrison lasts. That's the biggest thing. If a garrison gets popped out and sat-faced off of a structure, that's when the structure is going to start falling. It looks like the structure has finally fallen. They've captured the Sky Altar. So now the points per minute is even. Now points per minute is even. And 84 actually holding, I was about to say, they were holding 3 altars, which is exactly what you want to do. You want to hold on to your own altars, step 1. But step 2 is contest the opponent altars here. You don't even have to capture them to make it generate points. At least deny the point generation from your opponents. Every single time you capture an altar, that's minus 300, I believe. Because it takes 2 minutes to capture, as we see. It takes 2 minutes to occupy. meaning you denied 300 points because 150 times 2 from your opponent. So just incrementally getting chips off of your opponent's altars is exactly what 84 needs to do, and that's exactly what they're doing. Holding to this arc, stabilizing their structure game, but they did lose their desert altar, and that's the thing. You have to hold your own structures, but there are just so many 89 marches here. My goodness. So 89, I feel like they're kind of trading their own sky altar for the desert altar pressure here. Maybe sending some marches towards the arc carrier, at least to pressure something going on. We'll have to see what they choose to do, because they have so much mid pressure here. I mean, they have so much desert altar pressure close to the inside lane here. What are the options for 89 to do? What do they do with this pressure? You don't usually want to walk backwards in Osiris League. Maybe there could be some pressure put onto the obelisk. Or I think they're just going to murder ball up and deny the desert altar as much as possible here. As we check the points per minute, 84 actually winning the points per minute. That's huge. As I said, the point generation that they're denying here, so they captured this, they captured that for a little bit, so that's around 600 points denied from 89. They actually have held this enough for them to occupy it themselves, so that's 600 points from the sky altar alone denied to 89. So they're getting those small advantages where they could find it for sure. But they will need a pretty big advantage though to come back into this game. As this 84 sky altar looks like it is finally going down with a Guan rally. Wow. Guan CPO rally. That's the first I've seen of a Guan CPO. That's a pretty interesting combination. I think I saw a skill popped. I wasn't able to see what skill it was. Arc did get dropped here. So they are contesting Arc, but if this game actually stalemates to the point that it is now, I still think 89 has an advantage just because of that early game 4 altar capture that they had. Created such a huge advantage for them. This is the infantry rally I'm used to, the Tariq Pakal, not the Guan CPO rally. Guan CP, man. I mean, it is a really good open field march, but as for a rally, I'm not too sure about that. As we see, 89 still having the points per minute advantage here. I think 84, with the amount of open field marches that they have around this, yeah, they should be able to hold their own sky altar. Hidden sentry used by 84 around the shrine just to see how many units are going towards the desert altar. The Zeno actually getting pretty low here. You definitely want to start march swapping if possible. They have a lot of healthy marches just AFK around here. You definitely do not want to be AFK in this situation. But it does look like they were able to march swap off and to hold on to the structure, to this desert altar here. As 89, as 84 was looking like they were coming back, 89 striking again with 3 altars held and actually generating points for them. So that is why the point gap in terms of generation is pretty wide right now. The extra altar just proving a lot of points per minute. One thing too is it looks like 89 has a team dedicated to taking these outposts, and each outpost generates 30 points per minute. That's more than a shrine. A shrine is 80 points per minute, but the 3 outposts are 90, so it's actually a pretty good idea to at least pester them, at least keep them honest, keep a garrison in there, use up one of the march slots. As 84 is starting to push towards the Desert Altar, it's definitely a push and pull type of match here. A lot of back and forth where 89 pushes in, but then they get pretty low, so then 84 gets to re-push, a counter push, and take their Desert Altar, as well as this Sky Altar. It's been flipping sides rather often here. Actually 3 altars flipping over to 84's side here. So actually it looks like yeah, 89 was able to recapture the Sky Altar. So 3 altars in control of 84. And yeah, the points per minute, look at the points per minute drop from 580 points per minute to 150. So yeah, making sure that you hold these structures is going to be very, very big. But it does look like they just dropped their own Sky Altar. It's just so it's such a tough match when your opponent has such a big advantage in terms of points. Because there's just a lot of pressure on you to hold structures. Look at the amount of structures that 89 was able to capture here. The map is looking super blue, but the saving grace for 84 is that they at least have control of 2 of the altars, both Desert Altars. As we see 84 going into 89's marches. I feel like 84 doesn't really want the Shrine of War, but they're kind of posturing that they do so that they could intercept the 89 marches. And this is kind of defending their own Desert Altar from any exterior, I guess, pressure. Just making the fight kind of outside of their own Desert Altar. They get sad faced and then they could reinforce coming back to the Desert Altar. As we see the Desert Altar captured by 89, but then the Sky Altar getting captured by 84. So they are just flipping back these altars back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's kind of like a yo-yo, a pendulum, where the pressure from both teams is actually pretty even, I'd say, in terms of structures. But as I said, that early game 4 altar capture from 89 is making the difference in this match, as they actually captured the Ark. So 84 did capture the Ark, which is why the score is a lot closer than it used to be, but they are still down by 3.5k. Good thing for them is if they're provisioning, which I'm not too sure if they are, they do have a provisioner. If they're provisioning and 89 isn't, well, 89 is provisioning a lot too, actually. So 89 actually will probably win the provisioning battle. So we can't look at provisioning as a win condition for 84 here. So 89 will actually get a point advantage from provisioning, which is pretty bad for 84's side. It's bad news bears, because that means that they definitely have to hold this. They have to win this next Ark fight, and they have to hold their altars to win this game. As we see 89 actually having a pretty good push into this this Desert Altar here. A lot of marches here. Not too sure how. Wait, is this a XY rally? No, it's not XY rally. I was about to say. Oh, it was an XY rally. Wow. Think about XY, super swarmable. Does a lot of damage, but in an Osiris League situation, you kind of want a rally that has some form of tankiness. And although rallies are supposed to do a lot of damage, the main thing about rallies for Osiris is they tank the garrison captain so that your swarmers don't get, you know, swarmed down here. But it does look like 89 was able to capture the desert altar, so deny some points from 84. So yeah, 89 was able to deny around 300 points from that one desert altar tap, so extending their lead even more so here. Yeah, well, what's a play for 84? What's a win condition? Well, one, they have to win this mid fight 100%. Another thing is, if you are playing towards this mid focus, would you want to force a third arc just so that you could come back with 2 arcs? Because the structure game is so back and forth, and 1 arc at this point with a disadvantage that they have, 1 arc with a disadvantage that they have is not going to be enough to come back and win this game. As 84 will be able to hold their own desert altar. 3 altars going to 84. Sky altar. They do have a gen in here, but it's getting swarmed down like crazy. So 89 will be able to gain control of their sky altar yet again. These structures are actually going super back and forth. It's pretty crazy. Usually in the matches I've been seeing, it does go back and forth, but not to this extent. It's these structures are barely gaining points per minute. As we start to see the massive migration, the massive amount of troops going towards this mid fight here. Oh wow, how are they able to see this sentry? Oh wow, this the sentry in the middle actually able to spot out the sentry to the 84 side here. So although they do have the outpost here, so they will be able to see the marches coming from mid. It looks like the bottom side of 84, the bottom side of 84 is actually pushing north here to disrupt the rotation of 89. Or are they trying to just sad face onto the Shrine of War here? Either way, it is slowing down the rotation, but pretty interesting. They're opting in to swarm down the Shrine of War with the arc spawning in 3 minutes. 89 actually having the positioning advantage here, rotating to mid first. We'll have to see if this actually proves to be... Yeah, I'm not too sure what that push was, to be honest, from 84's side. These are perfectly healthy marches that could be contributing to the mid fight. Now they'll be pretty worn down by the time this mid fight starts. Total vision used by 84. A very early total vision. I'm curious to see where all the 84 marches are. I see that they have some marches here. They tried to swarm down the Shrine of War, which is unsuccessful. None of the structures are being contested, although they did capture this desert altar. There are a lot of marches around this desert altar. So they're trying to pull what 89 did the last arc fight, where they have an alter advantage towards the arc fight, so at least they're winning in terms of points per minute as arc is spawning. But look at the amount of marches that 89 has. I don't think 84 could even contest this arc with how little marches they have in around this mid fight. With 1 minute to go. If I had to guess, this is a strategic master strategies play, making 89, a little bit confident about their mid fight, making them think that they have control with the arc. But they are popping skills, so you saw Total Vision and Heaven's Grace used by 89 here. Okay. Yeah, this is a slaughter for 89's side. Just too many numbers. But look, they are pressuring the altars here. They are pressuring the structures here. So they are trying to play the structure game. And it is kind of working here. With the amount of points per minute that they're gaining, they're not even gaining points per minute from the desert altar that they captured. But if 89's able to capture this arc, then it's all for nothing, because the amount of points that they gain from the arc is going to be super, super tough. They actually captured the obelisk of 89 here. 89 was able to teleport most of their marches out, but if they get a big whale in here that starts swarming down some of these cities, it might actually be a bit of a problem. 89 actually able to recapture their desert altar with this amount of marches around. I'm actually very surprised that they're able to capture that. Arc was capped by 89. Was tapped. It is getting pulled. Looks like towards this middle area here. That's actually super interesting. 84 taking very, very strong advantages around the map. Looks like this obelisk will go down before they're able to teleport any cities. The other obelisk also being captured. Desert altar, I believe, will fall from 89's side here. Points per minute going towards 84's favor, but it won't mean anything if 89's able to capture the arc. Look at the amount of red on the map. My goodness. So 89 definitely went all in for that last arc. But they are stabilizing the structure game now. They will be able to capture both desert altars. What's the play for 84? What are they gonna do here? Because they have to have this arc. 89 starting to stabilize the structure game. So even though they have 0 points per minute, as long as they're able to recapture their own structures and hold while they have arc, they'll be definitely in the advantage here. '89 having a lot of field presence around the arc, making sure that they can't just sneaky cap the arc. As we see a lot of 89 marches, or 84 marches rather, walking towards this arc. So it looks like this is the desperation play. Just having as much marches as possible run towards this arc. Because they know they need this arc for this game to be close. Although if they just held all the structures that if they just hold all the structures like this for an extended amount of time. Look at that, 0 to 700 points per minute is actually pretty crazy. 700 points per minute is actually pretty insane. The real question is, how long will they be able to hold these altars? This altar I feel like will hold, although they do have some reinforcements coming in. They lost the desert altars, and that should start ticking over for 89. But yeah, look at that. They're actually committing a lot of units around this arc. Maybe that's the play. The play is not even to capture the arc, but capture all the structures and then try to deny the arc as much as possible. As you see Dust Up used by 84. So it will not be Master Strategy's play, but it will be by 89. Oh, both teams using Dust Up. Interesting. This is really interesting. I think this is the most amount of skills I've seen used outside of mid-fight. Seen Dust Up used by multiple times here. As we see 89 continuing to push this arc more and more towards their side. They definitely just want to capture this arc as soon as possible and then start playing the structure game again. Because they're doing really well with the structure game. Because look how close the match is now. Wow. 84 making this a game. Focusing down the structures and delaying the arc here. So that 89 at least has to keep a certain amount of marches around this arc. It looks like 89. It looks like 89 is actually able to deny a lot of things here. Or 84 rather. Deny this arc one more time. But now they have full control. What's the play for 89 here? Do you capture right away? I think they're gonna try to stabilize the structures and then capture. They still have the lead. Points per minute is now even, so structures are finally even again. And I think the biggest thing was the amount of outposts that 84 actually had control of. Like, if you have all 6 outposts, that's 180 points per minute. So yeah, the structures are finally, you know, getting even here. Actually, to the advantage of 89. But I think it was a pretty interesting push by 84 for sure. Seeing that 89 was sending full mid, and then 84, instead of going full mid as well and going mono v mono, toe to toe, like, hey, let's just try to capture the structures and at least make this point gap. They were down by around 4k. Now they're only down by 1.5, I believe, 1.4. And even though 89 is winning in points per minute, at least they were able to bring it a bit closer. But yeah, this arc here, they're gonna transfer it by going into this caravan and putting it to a healthier march with this double C. It's healthier and it's faster. So it looks like they are opting into holding the arc and just winning from structures. Yeah, I think they're gonna deny the third arc from spawning, which is pretty smart here. They have the advantage, they're provisioning more, and they have if they just hold their own structures, the win condition for 89, just hold your own structures. You don't even need to push. Just hold your own structures and then you win. So I think that's definitely going to be the play. It's 84 that needs to be aggressive here. They don't have arc and they're losing points per minute now. Okay, they captured a shrine. That's step 1. Step 1 for 84 is actually to hold your own structures, 1. And then 2, try to deny the sky altars as much as possible. Look at that arc control. So yeah, that arc is definitely gonna go to 89. It's a good effort by 84, but 15 minutes to go. Points per minute. They will have to hold like all three altars throughout the duration of this 15 minutes, I believe, to make up for the arc capture and the current point deficit that they have. This desert altar is getting swarmed down. This is going to be huge. They need to fill this desert altar as much as possible, and they're trying to. They need to fill. Not too sure why this march is swarming around its own desert altar. It's kind of weird. Like, it's just walking around the desert altar. Okay, there you go. Yeah, you definitely want to start hitting your opponent. No, they're not hitting their opponent. They're still walking around. As I said, if you're walking around the structure, you're not helping at all. You're just not doing DPS and you're not filling. So you want to make sure your marches are doing something at all times in Osiris League. This desert altar holds pretty big. It's pretty big, but it's not going to win them the game, but it at least gives them a path. It stabilizes them a little bit. But as we see the structures and the points per minute, yeah, this desert altar hold was pretty big. Just so that they could continue to hold the points per minute advantage, or at least keep it even. Hard push used by 84, so they are gonna go heavy on structures here. What structures, we will have to see. It looks like it's Shrine of War here. Look at the amount of marches going towards the Shrine of War. Ooh, they captured the arc. Oh, that's a huge point advantage. 5k point advantage. There will be a mid fight, but there will only be 4 minutes to capture the arc. So 89 actually putting the pressure on 84. It's like, do you go structures or do you go for the arc? Because the arc itself isn't enough to win the game here. They're beelining for the structure. My goodness. Let's check the desert altar here. Desert altar being held by 89. Sky altar being held by 84. So both of those are safe. How about the Shrine of War? They're actually just beelining and taking so much AoE damage on the way there. Their objective is to try to deny as much structure points as possible. But if you just beeline and start getting hit by AoE all the way towards the structure, then it's not gonna be it's not gonna help you out too much, because by the time your march is at the structure, they're all yellow or they're all red. As we see 84 having a slight points per minute advantage, very, very slight. And that's the thing, you all get sad faced pushing the structure. Now 89 will have pretty healthy marches here and will be able to push towards this desert altar that doesn't even have a proper garrison inside. The garrison was resetting here. Khal Drago getting into the structure here, but 89 will actually have a lot of presence around this desert altar. If they re-rally right away, they could wait for the rally and push with the rally. It's going to be a pretty big push. Sky altar is safe. Shrine of Life is safe. I'm looking at all the blinking structures. Shrine of War is safe. So it looks like the biggest fight will be around this 84 desert altar here. That's the thing that's pretty different about KBK versus Osiris League. It's not about the trades. It's not about how well you're trading. It's not really a battle of attrition. It's a battle of pressure. Who can get to the spots first? And even though you're walking up, like 89 was walking up just there. The trades aren't going to be good. 84 was walking up. Trades probably weren't good when they were walking up. But it's trying to be in the right spot at the right time, right place at the right time. Trying to deny as much points as possible. Trying to time your sad faces. Like, these marches are probably going to start rotating mid now, because Arc is spawning in 4 minutes. As we do see some 89 marches walking mid as soon as I said that. So reset on this Desert Altar after defending from the Shrine of War push, and then start rotating mid is a play for 89 here. As it's about 9 minutes to go in the match here. If this arc is captured and they have some crazy provisioners, this is actually winnable. But 89 just has a lot of provisioners as well, so I think they have like 3. So every single structure in the game's blinking right now. Let's go see what's going on. Sky Altar looks like it'll be held by 89. We'll keep our eyes here, actually. They do have a lot of troops, but it's a lot of the, like, it's like one individual with like 5 marches. And the thing is, you can only have 1 march fill at a time. But yeah, the Sky Altar was held. Let's see the Desert Altar here. Desert Altar, all the marches are so low, so they're probably just resetting for this mid fight. And then Shrine of Life is being held as well, so no structures flipping hands anytime soon. Everyone is sending their troops mid here, but 89 was first to the rotation. So oh, interesting. It says 60 GT for I didn't even know you could click this. That's cool. Let me just make sure. Yeah, both structures looking rather safe here. Although the Sky Altar is pretty low, I don't think the CPO alone can take it. So that's what I'm talking about. Just the right amount of pressure put to holding the structure. Like, this march was probably walking towards the Sky Altar, but they're like, oh, there's only 1 CPO. Because both teams know that this mid fight, the only way 84 comes back is if they win this mid fight and capture the arc right away. So this is for their championship hopes. This is for their playoff hopes. And if 89 wins this, they secure the title for the realm of Basset. One minute, 10 seconds until arc spawns. We did see 84 win an arc, although I think both arc fights, each team was like 84 for the first one was going full arc, while 89 was going for structures. Second arc fight, 84 went for structures and 89 went full mid. So this will actually be, I believe, the first time we'll see both teams at full capacity for this arc fight, as 84 is the first to take aggressive positioning here against 89. Dust up used by 84. Oh, they're going in. 84 is the first to go in here. They have some AFKs though. Total vision used by 84. Ooh, this is going to be a huge mid fight. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. Arc has spawned. Who will get first tap? First tap's going to be so important here. I think 89 got first tap. Let's see. Oh, 84 getting first tap to the south here. That's absolutely huge. 89 is running down this march. They do have a backup carrier here. Farmer Hollows, you got to tap that ASAP. About 2 seconds delay on the tap. Oh, that T1 march is getting melted though. Farmer Hollows was able to capture it, but got instantly deleted. Let's see who is winning this fight here. In my opinion, it looks like there's more blue than there is red, but it's still pretty close. There is an arc carrier from 89. Look at him move. Look at this person move. Ace. Completely negating the advantage that 84 gained, putting it straight in the middle of the map. As we said, 89 doesn't need to capture this arc. They need to delay it as much as possible. There is a streamline of sad faces from 89 though. What does this mean? Does this mean 84 is winning this mid fight? 84 getting yet another tap. All these marches are so low. '89 getting another tap. This arc is going back and forth just like the altars all game here. Arc dropped. There are a lot of AFK marches around for 84, so I'm guessing that means that they are winning this mid fight. That's what I'm talking about. You definitely want to make sure that your marches are doing something at all times. Like if you're not trying to capture this arc, you're tapping all of the opponents trying to capture it. Because every single time your opponent captures the arc, that's minus 10 seconds at least. That could have went to moving this arc. That could have went to securing this arc. Now the arc is capped, but will they have enough time? The arc is AFK. The arc is not moving. There you go. The arc is finally moving, but it's so low. The arc is going to drop to the CC. Will 84 be able to capture this arc at this point? Just so many delays from 89's side. Delaying them. But it's also 84. A lot of them were AFK. 1 minute, 15 seconds for them to capture this arc. If this arc drops, if this arc carrier falls, they can't capture this arc anymore. 26, 21, 9k, sad faced. There you go. That's the speed that they need to come with. Just instantly tapping the arc. Another double C. Oh, but there are marches coming from the south here to surprise this double C. Will the double C stay alive here? Sad faced. It's over. 89 has won the match, delaying the arc as much as possible, capturing the arc even though they lost the mid fight. 25 seconds left, and they were able to capture the arc yet again and pull it left, pull it north. Huge plays for this mid fight here from 89. And it's just those little things, those little movements those microseconds, those milliseconds, tapping the arc first and getting those little advantages over time is how 89 was able to win this match and able to win the Osiris League Championship. Congratulations to 489 and Kingdom 2489 for winning Arc of Osiris Basset. Huge kudos to them. And also congratulations to Fallen Demons F84D for coming this far, making this game super close. Score 84.2k to 29.3k. The arc score and occupation score. 89 actually winning in all 3 categories, which is how they're ultimately able to win the game. GG's to both teams. Thank you so much for the great season, Realm of Bassets. Be sure to subscribe to the Rise of Kingdoms channel if you want more Osiris League content, if you want more Rise of Kingdoms content, as well as looking in the description in case you want more Plato Gaming content. Yours truly. It has been a pleasure, and we will see you guys 15 UTC for 60 GT against 1 EE8. See ya.